got our first sale, guys. I think I'm actually gonna go crazy. The ad account got disabled. Just got another sale. Let's go, this one's for $40. Hell, bro, Facebook. Damn Zuckerberg. I'm challenging myself again to take a brand new store from zero to profitable in only 72 hours using AI. Now here's the kicker. I'm gonna sell in an industry that I typically never go for. And I'm limiting myself to a $500 budget for expenses. If I don't make a profit here, I gotta give one of you guys $1,000. Now why am I even doing this? Because I wanna prove to you how quickly you can start getting results with dropshipping in 2026 thanks to AI. You're about to see me find a product, build an AI store, make AI ads, and generate sales in only 72 hours. But let's see if I actually make a profit or end up losing $1,000 to one of you. Let's get started. So the first thing we need to do is find a winning product, but I only have 72 hours on the clock. So the easiest way to do that is taking something that's already working on TikTok Shop, because TikTok Shop is so popular now. I've found dozens of winning products from doing research on the platform. But instead of actually going and scrolling TikTok and spending hours of time that I don't have, I unfortunately have to pay for a platform that gives me all the data, like Kalo data. It is pretty expensive, I would say. Most people, this is quite a bit, especially if you're a beginner. $64.09 is essentially what I had to invest in this platform. So that actually immediately brings down my budget of $500 to $435.10. But it is worth it because once you see what we can do in here, you're actually gonna wanna probably invest in it yourself. First things first, before I start looking for a product, I always go for one of these niches. A niche is a product category, for those who don't know. These are the categories that I typically go for because I'm always looking for problem-solving products. So essentially, a product that I can convince somebody that it is a solution to a pain or issue in their life. But in this challenge, I'm actually gonna challenge myself further and do something that I haven't done before, which is actually sell in the women's wear fashion industry. I'm still gonna look for problem solvers here, but I never actually go for this industry. And as you can see here, if you look at, this is the category ranking, and it shows that on TikTok Shop, the number 2 category, $213 million in the last 30 days for this category is women's wear and underwear. And they've had 13% growth in the past 30 days. This is all I do. Most people will go to this category and they'll just start searching for all the products, sifting through whatever, but we wanna filter through it and we wanna actually find products that have been growing recently. If it's been successful recently and it shows that it's on an uptrend, then it is a perfect opportunity for us to enter and compete with them because they already created the pie. And so we just have to go in and get a piece of the pie. So all I'll do right here is I'm gonna click last 30 days and then I'm gonna choose the category of women's wear and underwear. And the key here is the revenue growth rate. So I always start off by seeing what has grown 100% or more in the last 30 days in sales. We wanna see which products, basically exploded in the last 30 days. Let's check out this one right here. It's 425K in revenue. It's an invisible lift. Just the image right here caught my attention. What is that? 144% in the past 30 days. We got this product and I'm just gonna find a couple others that might, grab my attention here. So right now it's March 13th, right? So we're probably gonna see a lot of these summer, spring dresses that are really popping. And while that doesn't really solve a problem, it technically solves the problem of people looking for spring dresses or looking for better spring, summer outfits, right? People are not actively searching for stuff. So that's why dropshippers are even able to succeed, is because we're the ones that are putting these products in front of people. And we do that with content. This is pretty interesting as well. When we look at the graphs here, just in the last 30 days, you can see that it has spiked from 10K per day all the way up to 40K per day. So it's been averaging 11K per day in the last 30 days, but we can see that it's been having a recent spike here. It had its highest day of 39K only a few days ago. Now we'll go even further to the last 90 days and we can see that clearly this is seasonal because it's now spiking right before spring starts. This is a good sign. I'm always looking for things that have had total success, but I wanna enter when I can see that there's a recency of demand, because I don't wanna enter if the graph is kind of up and down or if it's on a downtrend. Just because it did 371K in a period doesn't mean that I'm gonna go sell it. That's like saying I'll just sell any product. Again, I would prefer to still keep an actual problem solver, like the one that I first found here. So what this does is, catfishing is very popular nowadays, and this is essentially catfishing. So the fact that it did 425K in the last 30 days, and wow, this one even had a spike too. Jeez. If we look at the last 90 days, Wow. What I like to do is go down and look at the content that has driven these sales. If I see that several of them have gotten millions in views, then it's a very eye-catching, attention-grabbing product on social media. I bet you this product is so cheap to source, and they're selling it for 40 bucks on TikTok. I don't know if you guys noticed, but most products on TikTok are sold for really cheap. So she's like showing people how it stays. Oh, okay. Yeah, good. More catfishing, that's good. Bro, I think we're officially cooked, man. You should see the stuff that women are buying on TikTok. It's absolutely crazy. I mean, I'm gonna stay away from the dress. Even though I had a recent spike, there's not really much you can really like manipulate, because marketing is manipulation, right? There's not really anything you can say other than that, hey, this is a cool dress for spring, right? Like if we look at their content.
You did not see it in this dress, you guys. Pathetic flattering.
She's hiding her apron belly. So maybe this is solving the problem of basically hiding the fact that you are chunkier. Interesting. So far, this one, I wanna bet you that I'll have like super high profit margins on this, because there's no way that this costs much. So I think I'm gonna go for this one. I mean, there's so much data here. So real quick, before we actually take this product and build our Shopify store, make a brand name, all that stuff, let's make sure our supplier actually has this product, because we don't wanna be in a situation where we can't actually source it. So for the sake of this challenge, I'm actually gonna be using this fashion dropshipping supplier called EPRolo. A couple of friends of mine that have done big numbers in fashion recommended this supplier because I guess they specialize in fashion products. And it seems like a really good platform. They even have customer service, live chat support, pretty clean platform. All you gotta do is create a free account, use the link below, and essentially we can just search the product by the image. So then the results come up, and then as you can see here, it starts showing me different products. And right away I found this one right here, which was the one I showed you. We have a $1.48 product cost, $4.34 shipping cost. If you look at my pricing calculator here, that gives us an 82% profit margin before ads. And so in order to get a 20% net profit with ads, we only need 1.61 ROAS, which means for every dollar we spend, we need to make $1.61 back. That's really good, by the way, because most products need a 2.5 to 3.5x ROAS to be profitable. Now, real quick, the one thing that I want to get out of the way here, since we now have all of our costs figured out, we want to make sure that we're actually going to track our profit and loss right away. I want it to be completely automated. So we're going to plug in these costs that we have here right into True Profit. True Profit automates it all for me, and it connects to Meta ads. So it syncs the ad spend, and all I have to do is put in the product cost and the shipping cost. And then every time an order comes in, it's just automatically tracked. Like I hate having to deal with this stuff, and it's just you being able to put your time and energy more into, marketing ads, the thing that's gonna make you money, right? So the way this works is actually super easy. I'm just gonna go start with a plan. They have a 14-day free trial, which is good. I actually have a 10% off coupon code. So if you go to the link in the description below, you can get 10% off plus that 14-day free trial. All right, so literally this is how it looks. A really clean dashboard. We get to see our net profit, our revenue, total costs, the Facebook ad spend. It's just one dashboard for us to just go into as we track the profit and loss through this challenge. And all I have to do literally is just go in and integrate Facebook. So I'm gonna go ahead and integrate that. And then the last thing we wanna do is make sure we actually apply our cost of goods here. Gonna go pay per item, because that's how, the supplier charges us. Is essentially if the customer orders 1 unit, multiple units, the shipping fee changes. Okay, so now we have the shipping cost set up, and then now automatically once we get orders, it's going to track all of this in real time. We don't have to worry about it.
Now that I got the product locked in, the next thing I need to do is come up with a brand name and build an entire Shopify store from scratch. But just like many of you, I'm way too lazy to do any of that, so I'm gonna have AI do all of the heavy lifting for me. Watch how easy this is.
All right, so while most people usually overthink the brand name and logo, I usually spend like 5 to 10 minutes on this using AI. Design.com is really great. I've been using this a lot lately. So essentially their AI business name generator, we're just gonna type some keywords, describe the business in a few words. I just put a bunch of words that I think the modern day woman would use. All right, so then it shows you the description of the keywords. We can choose a length. I want it to be short. And then we're just gonna choose a style. I'm gonna choose creative. And essentially the AI is just going to give me a bunch of keywords that I can use here. And then it actually shows you like immediately what kind of logos fit with that. We're just gonna choose one of the words here that catches my my attention. So I really like the word serene. Maybe what we can do is like put like a girl's name next to that, like Sally, Serene Sally. I like that name. So let's actually see if the domain name is actually available before we pick it, because sometimes, you know, I like to go for .com and sometimes .com is not available. So we'll go here to websites and then click on domain names, and basically we'll just search for the domain. And we can see serenesally.com is actually available for $16. So I'm just gonna go ahead and buy that. Now that we have the name secured, we just gotta go and actually create a logo. Again, I do not overthink this, but with design.com's AI tools, makes it super easy to do. So we're just gonna go right here to the homepage and type in Serene Sally, and then we're choosing what we wanna design, which is a logo, and click generate. Now my favorite thing about design.com is like, you know, all these logos, a lot of them I don't like, but I can literally just use the AI chat to change and customize everything for me. So I'm just gonna choose one that I wanna use as a foundation. So I'll use this one as a foundation right here. And then with the AI chat, I'm just gonna make some adjustments. I wanna, you know, make it look more feminine. So first thing I told the AI is that I want this to be a text only logo. So I actually don't want like it to be, you know, 3 layers. It does it for me. And then I'm actually gonna tell the AI to make it more bright and, you know, contrasting colors, more feminine. So now I'm having it basically add a more feminine design to it and also remove that slogan. Essentially just having the AI do all the thinking for me and literally do the work for me, right? So I didn't even know that I would like this color, and actually I do really like this color. Maybe even if we like, you know, made one of the words a different color. Honestly, I don't even want to think about it, so I'm just gonna tell the AI to do it. All right, I had to play around with it a little bit, but I mean, that looks great. I actually really like the text. It's like a very like classy text, and these colors just make sense for a female brand. Ultimately, we want to make this look like a real brand, right? So we're just gonna click save progress, and all of this was free, by the way, to design it, but in order to actually download it, we need to subscribe to their paid plans, which I think is fair considering how easy it was to make this platform. So their lowest plan was $15 a month. So now our total budget left for the challenge is $420.10. Now we're gonna download the files and continue to actually building the Shopify store, but the Shopify store is only gonna take 5 minutes to build. Watch this. All right, so the AI store builder we're gonna be using for this is called Crafted. Now the first thing we have to do is actually create a Shopify store. Instead of actually paying for Crafted here, we can use this free Crafted builder. So if you go to the link in the description below, we can get our first store made with Crafted completely for free. All we have to pay for is Shopify, which is only $1. So I'm gonna follow this and basically, you know, create the Shopify account and have it build my store all in one. So we're just gonna follow the instructions here, choose the niche, and then it'll take us into Shopify. So right here, when it takes you into Shopify, we just have to make sure that we actually subscribe to the Shopify plan for $1. We just have to choose basic. So we're gonna click try basic. And then here we can just skip all this. We don't need to do all that. And then it'll take us directly into our store. So this is our dashboard right here. We have a Shopify store, but not quite. We got to go back and then make sure that we click done here. And then we actually have to link the store to Crafted. So I'm going to copy this link and then go back and then save and click done. And then here we have to make sure we skip that 3-day trial. So Crafted actually gives us a free store. So it's essentially saying that we're going to pay $1 for the Shopify plan for 3 months. And then after that, we'd actually pay the full price of $39. So that's quite a deal, especially for a beginner. Okay, so now that we got that sorted, we're just gonna click done here. And then basically we just gotta make sure to install the Crafted app into the Shopify account. Then now it's gonna say your free store is ready to be built. So all we have to do is click build my free store. And then we just click Amazon and then actually copy and paste this Amazon link into Crafted. And then click build my free store, and literally in 5 minutes, it's gonna have a fully built store for us. I wish I could do this years ago, because I kid you not, I would spend a couple weeks building a store or more. But the name of the game is speed. You know, the people that win in dropshipping today move really fast. And you know, that's part of the reason why most people fail, is that they move too slow and they focus on the wrong things. We wanna get to launching the store as quickly as possible so we can run ads. All right, check it out. Serene Sally. So I added the logo, but Crafted AI built this entire product page right here. Looks incredible. This was done in 5 minutes. For all the people that are constantly overthinking, starting drop shipping, oh, I have to do this, I have to do this, I have to do that. Nowadays, AI can do a lot of the heavy lifting for you. And that's what I'm trying to show you in this challenge. They even did the homepage. Average people, right? Consumers, they would look at this and they would think, wow, this looks like, a well-known brand or something, because we're giving off that perception. What AI did was the heavy lifting in terms of the copywriting, writing copy that actually convinces people to buy. It's not just text that says this is an adhesive pad. It's saying Meet Invisilift inserts your instant natural looking lift without the bulk of a padded bra. That's relatable. We want to speak to the pain points that we're trying to promote here, that we're solving, right? And then natural looking fit, no bulky padding, stays in place. I'm not gonna go through all the copy here, but overall, guys, you don't have to overthink any of this. Just let AI do the heavy lifting for you. But what we do want to do to really make it pop and stand out from all the other drop shippers is we want to upgrade the images. We don't want to have these like plain basic images. A lot of the times Crafted does, create like custom images. Like I believe it created a couple of these, but we want to do even better. What I'm going to show you is how we can upgrade this to really be a premium brand. Whether I have 72 hours or have way more time than that, I want to give myself the best possible opportunity at succeeding with my initial ads, because I have to put money towards these ads, right? So all we have to do to create custom branding images like this and have AI do all the work for us is just use Google's Gemini Nano Banana. But we have to actually prompt it and give it really good instructions. And it's actually very difficult to do that. So what I do is actually have AI create prompts for me. But instead of using Gemini to do that, I use Claude to create the prompts, and then I feed the prompts into Gemini. Because Claude is very creative. I found it to be very good when it comes to creativity, marketing, etc. So I've basically used Claude as my marketing assistant for everything. So we're gonna start with essentially talking to Claude, saying, hey, we need to recreate some of these images into our own. I want you to start with this image, and we're actually gonna start with this. So I wanna recreate something like this. So I'll just give that to Claude as a reference image, copy and paste, and then I'll also give Claude the logo. So our actual logo for Serene Sally, I'm gonna say, hey, our logo's attached. I just need you to recreate this with our own twist, replace the logo, make the box a different color, and make it like a tropical background, like it's on the table, etc., right? And so we'll see what the result is. So now it gives me this full prompt. Imagine me having to figure all this out. I just have AI do it for me, right? So we copy and paste this prompt, and then I go into Gemini, I copy and paste it, and then I click create image, and then we make sure to give it those same reference images as well. Okay, so now I'm literally just gonna hit submit, and then let's see the result. All right, this is insane. Look at this. How amazing does that look? That looks so legit. We even got the Serene Sally packaging in the background. Like I said, like it's not a big deal if you're gonna ship the orders without the packaging, like you can make up an excuse for that. At the beginning of your, store and testing, you don't need to worry about all those details. At the end of the day, you're still giving them the actual product, right? So now what I wanna do, right, is I wanna start, adding these images to the page and really upgrade the way this page looks, right? So I'm actually gonna start recreating more of these, like, stuff like this. So I'm gonna recreate a bunch of these and just show you the results. All right, check this out, man. We gave it this reference image. I had it even change the ethnicity of the girl just to change it up even more, right? Change the color of the shirt and just recreate our own version here to really show that before and after of what this product's gonna do. And then we took the size chart and really made our own version of the size chart. And then this before and after lift with two different girls, different size examples here, because ultimately if you're shopping for this, you probably wanna see different bra size examples of how it looked, right? And then this one, washable, reusable. I basically just kind of copied it, but it changed the model, which is crazy. Changed the woman to a tan skinned blonde woman. So yeah, I did that. And then also this one, the extra boost effect, I wanted to change it, and I had it actually use a black woman instead, just to really be diverse. It's always good in your product photos and everything and your ads to be diverse because people care about that. Yeah, we just had to play around with it a little bit, and I wanted to get a model holding the product. I had to play around with that one. That didn't work too well, so I had to start a new chat, but essentially I got this one. So this looks really good. Now let me go update the page and show you how much of a difference this will make. All right, now check this out. How much better is that? This does not look like your average dropshipper, and that's exactly what you want to do. You want to really upgrade and stand out. So we have that main image here. We have a couple separate images. Obviously, you know, these are like fake reviews. It's not real, but the nice thing about Crafted is that the AI makes reviews based on the product. So it'll, you know, actually make reviews that sound real, right? Under my fitted tee, they look completely smooth, etc. But what I would do to take it a step further here is I would actually like add, you know, actual reviews. I can literally take reviews from Amazon of these products. This one right here, 565, 4 stars is great. I can import these reviews to my store using an app like Ali Reviews, Trustify Reviews, etc. There's a bunch of apps. The last thing I forgot to do was to make sure that we actually connected our supplier, EPRolo, to the Shopify store. We want to make sure once we start getting orders here, EPRolo automatically fulfills the orders, because what these guys do is they are a middleman, right? So, you know, we don't need inventory, we just drop ship. So every time we get an order, they send the product directly to our customer and we pay EPRolo, but it's all automated once we connect the stores. So I'm gonna have to go here and basically click connect to your store, click Shopify, and then it's gonna take me here and we're actually gonna install it. Click install. Okay, and let's just connect our EPRolo account. Then we wanna make sure to go to our import list. Let's just search for the product. We'll add it to our import list. So this one right here. Then we're just gonna make sure to import the product to the store. So now I got my supplier connected, and if I go to my dashboard here, right, we'll be able to start seeing when the orders come in, right? And essentially we're gonna see when it's processing, when it's fulfilled, with the order status, everything will automatically sync over to Shopify right into this order section, tracking numbers, everything. It's all very seamless. That's what I love about dropshipping. If I'm gonna create good ads here, I need to do research and see what's already working with the competition, right? Like I have all this data in front of me from this TikTok shop seller. Obviously, we already know what kind of sales they've done, so what they're doing is working. So we don't want to fix what isn't broken, just want to see what's working for them and take inspiration from that. I also want to see what's going on with meta ads. So this ads library right here, we can essentially see all the sellers that are promoting this product, including Boomba, which is the same brand on TikTok. So I'm going to do some research right now for about 30 to 40 minutes and then come back to you with what I find.
How I got a boob lift in less than $50. No, I didn't believe the hype until this. Boomba gives.
All right, so I've been doing research for about 30 minutes now. I mean, they're also selling these padded shorts to lift the girl's butt. Man, we're getting catfished out here. Now, right off the bat, what I'm noticing is like, if you look at this video right here.
When I tell you the adhesive on this is strong as hell, it's crazy. You get up to 40 uses out of this.
So all these top performing videos right here, you can see this one did 86K, 47K, 27K. The same pattern I'm seeing is that they're leading with proof. So they're immediately showing how strong the adhesive is, and they're immediately showing how it lifts up, you know, their boobs, right? This is obviously grabbing attention because, you know, nowadays there's so many products. I'm sure there's so many of these inserts that advertise that they have a strong adhesive, but they actually don't. And that's probably the biggest problem with these products, is not actually holding still. And, you know, these are also invisible. So they're talking a lot about the invisible part. Clearly that's a big selling point here. Now there's just too much content to study here. So the fact that we have AI, I thought about it. I'm like, I can just take the transcripts of the top performing videos and give it to AI and have AI really study it even more for me. Because, you know, with the limited time on the clock right now, I'm trying to get AI to do as much heavy lifting as possible. So one of my chats here basically just said, hey, I'm studying these other sellers. You know, what are the patterns that we see in these transcripts? How are they relating to our ideal customer profile, which is, you know, the type of women that would relate to this, that, you know, would buy this? How are they pitching the solution to the problem? And are all 3 transcripts the same, or are they unique in any way, unique angles, etc., right? So I gave them the transcripts. On Kalo data, we can basically take the transcript, copy and paste it into Claude, which is great, as you can see here. But basically the AI gave me so much information here. I had it summarize it into simple bullet points, but like I said, they lead with the product working, not with the problem. So instead of saying like, do you struggle with a sagging situation or whatever, and then they're leading with the product actually working, they're showing it. They're not telling, they're showing. And so when it comes to image ads, I'm not gonna lie, this is gonna be tough. For those of you that don't know what image ads, you know, look like, these are the kind kind of image ads that for dropshipping e-commerce we run. It's a visual of the product, but then there's a headline that really hooks people in, the same way a video does, right? We need a headline and we need a strategy there, right? So it's not just a random headline. But so the issue is like, how are we gonna do this? How are we gonna convey the product working in the image? We're gonna have to try really hard to sell the click and let our landing page, which has a lot of valuable information and also reviews, do the selling for us. Now the thing with AI, which you've probably experienced, is that if you go just start chatting with it and telling it to create ad ideas for you and all that, it's gonna just give you a bunch of generic garbage because it's too broad. You have to train it, give it research information on who your customer is, what pain points they have, etc. I have an AI process, which I call the Prime Docs. All I do is follow this process. It's a lot, but in the matter of 20 minutes or so, you can have it done. So essentially we do deep research with ChatGPT, and then we create a custom avatar sheet. Look at the template here. We get the AI to create a profile of our customer, the age range, the gender, the pain points, short-term goals, long-term aspirations. We really want to understand the psychology of these women. At the end of the day, when you get an ad advertising a product to you that is relevant to you, when that ad feels relatable to you, it feels like they understand you as a person. It's almost as if they know you, right? That grabs your attention and that holds your attention, right? The only way we can do that with advertising is if we understand the psychographic of our customer, which is all of this. So once I have these documents made, literally this 3 documents, I will then put them into Claude, feed those documents into Claude, and now Claude becomes a complete marketing expert on this product. And so then I can just start chatting with it. No exaggeration, this right here is the cheat code to making AI your literal marketing expert. So now that Claude is an expert on my product, right? I just have to tell it, hey, we want to create image ads, but we have to do it without that before and after. We want to convey the patterns that we've seen from these winning videos on TikTok, but with images. So how are we going to do that? So it gives me these concepts, and I told the AI, all right, we got to actually create prompts for Nano Banana. We're going to use Nano Banana again to create these images, just like we did for the website images. What the AI literally does with all of this information that I've given it is it actually creates an entire, document for each specific concept. As you can see here, prompt 1, prompt 2, prompt 3. All I have to do is go generate these in Gemini. And you can see here that Claude does the heavy lifting for me, telling me exactly what reference images to provide. So I'll copy and paste it here, click create image, make sure it's on Pro, very important that you put Pro, and then we're gonna put those reference images. I'm not gonna lie, I'm pissed. This looks good. I did all of them. I just put in all the prompts. So this is concept 1. This is just showing the product, and then we got concept 2 here. I mean, I don't know what this is. Not very good. And then we have this one. This is just like a product image. So yeah, these are not quite what I was looking for. These are more like branding images, whatever. So I think the mistake I made here was I didn't give Claude those templates, the image ad templates, because essentially what we need to understand about AI is that it's only an expert based on what it's trained on. If it has all the information in the world, it's gonna generalize a lot of things, but you have to get very specific, especially if you know what kind of image ads work, and we already know what kind of image ad strategies work. So we just want to get the AI to take inspiration from that and create concepts for it. So if we look at the templates that I showed earlier, these are, concepts that have worked extremely well for other brands, and I just essentially want to keep notes of this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try this again, but instead I'm going to tell Claude to make sure that it's factoring in what type of image ads actually work and use that to create concepts for us. So I gave it that template and I told the AI that we need 3 concepts, so 3 actual ads, but to make sure we have 3 individual variations of those ads. So one concept is the actual idea, the visual, but the variations is like the hook. So what I showed you with these, concepts right here, like your beard deserves better, that would be a hook. So we just need 3 variations because we always want to split test the hook, but not the visual. The visual is the concept. basically told the AI to study our image ad templates, and hopefully it can create some good concepts based off that. Clearly what it's trying to do with these concepts is take what we learned from the videos and actually turn it into an image. And hopefully now, because I gave it the image ad templates, it'll give us some good concepts with that. So now we have this document right here, and we have all these new prompts. So I'm gonna run these all right now and then show you the results. Ooh. All right, now we're talking. I was really impressed with these results. Check out how clean that looks. Okay, then we got this variation. So that's one concept, right? 3 variations. Then we have this one, okay, and then just brilliant so far. So let's go through them. So I wore a completely backless dress and felt secure all night. So basically the challenge with these images, right, is that we can't do the before and after. It's too risky to show like cleavage in the images because I don't want to get banned. So we're trying to like be very risk averse with this. And so the way we're going to do that is with these images that call out a relatable problem. And so as long as we can sell the click, because ultimately what we're trying to do is get people to click, the landing page will sell itself. But obviously, we need some good images. A $40 lift that replaced my $200 strapless bra. That's great, because that is comparing, affordable solution that we have here, Serene Sally, calling out the pain point of being broke, which is relatable to a lot of people, right? And then here, this one's such a nice image. It's just very like visually, aesthetic. Your secret styling tool, invisible lift inserts. So it has all like the value selling points of the products. If you think about it, right? Like we're not even 24 hours into the challenge and I'm already at the point of creating ads. And most people don't even realize that AI can do this. Okay, these are honestly great. We can definitely be confident testing these. I don't know if they're gonna work, but most people would go and just, if they're gonna run image ads, would just go promote some random stuff like this, right? This is a random image. I mean, it's before and after, but it's a random image, right? These have strategy. This was well thought out, right? By the way, I'll link the Prime docs for you guys for free below. You guys can, use this. I have this whole process documented, how exactly you can achieve these documents with AI. So that'll be for free below.
Taking a break from work because I'm a workaholic. So I would argue 80% of my time, 80 to 90% of my time is working. As much as I was like resistant to work before, like I've always struggled with trying to have work-life balance. What I realized that whenever I'm not working, I'm never fulfilled. And when I'm not fulfilled, I'm not very happy. So I stopped thinking about work-life balance and just focused on enjoying the process. All right, that's enough. Back to work.
All right, let's go, man. I'm excited because now all we have to do is launch these on Meta ads. So I created a quick Facebook page. Just put your logo, put a cover photo, call it a day. And then Ads Manager, we already did the heavy lifting. All we have to do is create the campaign, but we already created the ads. We just have to actually put them into Meta. Let me show you how easy it is to launch this, okay? So I already downloaded the images, and essentially I always start with the number 101. So each concept is 101. Then the concept number 2 is 102, 103. Each concept, just keeps going on from there. So that's how we're gonna name our actual ads. Right now, I'm just gonna go click create, and then very important, choose sales. And I'm just gonna name it real quick after the product. Keep in mind, it's only hour 5 of the challenge so far. So we have 67 hours left. So with $404 left in the budget, I'm gonna go crazy and set the budget to $200 per day and really just try and maximize, getting results. Okay, so then we're gonna go down here to the ad set, and then I'm just gonna name the ad set. Oh man, check this out. We restricted your ad account, dude. No. Okay, this is just an authentication. So sometimes what they'll do is they want to authenticate your identity. So hold on a second. Hell, bro. Facebook. Damn Zuckerberg. All right, we're back in business. So, okay, I just named the ad set after the concept 101, right? And so then we're gonna put the data set, which is our pixel, and then we're gonna choose purchase for the conversion event because we want purchases, right? And then I always schedule ads for 12 a.m. And then right here, we really don't have to do much, just make sure it's United States. We're gonna be targeting United States. 400 million people. We have some of the best consumers in the world. We have all the credit card debt you can think of. So we'll leave that, add transparency, leave that, and basically we don't have to touch anything else. We'll just go straight into the actual ad part. Now this is where we actually put the creative, right? So we name it, choose our page, and then I'm just gonna upload the images. So now we added the first image, 101A, and I'm just gonna duplicate and create 101B, 101C. The one thing you'll notice when you're adding the images is that it's gonna ask ask you if you want to add all these extra AI features that Meta offers. I don't. I keep a lot of them turned off because a lot of them are just crap, but what I do like is the visual touch-ups. So what this does is like, it'll expand the image to fit on Reels. As you can see, like it already took the image and then blended in the whole background to that background color. So that's great. Okay, so now we're almost ready to launch these, but we have to actually add a primary text that goes above the image, and we have to add a headline text and also change learn more to shop now. We put our website URL in. We don't have to create these ourselves. I'm just gonna have my marketing expert, Claude, do it for me. Invisilift is your solution. That's what I'm gonna say. Okay, we're just gonna put that hand emoji and there you go. Now we'll put the headline. Ooh, get yours before summer. I mean, that makes sense. Give them a heads up, right? Like, oh yeah, summer's actually coming, so that's relatable. And then boom, that's 101. So now I'm gonna hit publish, and then basically all I gotta do is just do the same thing for 102 and 103, and then they're ready to launch.
All right, so the ads are scheduled for midnight, and funny enough, it is midnight right now. I am gonna crash. I'm exhausted. But I'm praying that Zuckerberg does not screw me, because this is a new ad account and ads tend to not get approved for like 24 to 48 hours. So I'm hoping that's not the case, because I have so much history on my account. I hope he just approves them right away. You know, I'm even gonna check right now. Maybe they're approved already. So hopefully I wake up in the morning to my first sale. Good night, guys. Good morning, guys. I am so tired. I slept at 2 a.m. It's almost 10 a.m. here. Sunday. Yeah, so I got up a few minutes ago, and unfortunately, we got some bad news. I was hoping to wake up to some sales, but the ads aren't even spending. So take a look at this, right? The problem with Meta ads is that when you start a new ad account, you really don't know if it's gonna start spending right away, even if the ads go active. So we can see here, like they're learning, but we only have one impression and we have 6 cents spent. So anyways, all we can really do now is just wait for it to start spending. It will start spending. So we'll wait for that and see, and then we'll go from there. It's 6 p.m. The ads only started running a couple hours ago, but we got our first sale, guys. So I have a buy 2, get 3 free offer since they're so cheap to source. So looks like somebody got that one. So we already got $79 in revenue, but we spent quite a bit on the ads. Let's take a look. So as far as the ads go, I actually ended up changing before launching them last night, 103, the third concept, I changed it to actually include a woman actually showing the before and after without having a before and after, if that makes sense. So like this is kind of showing the result instead of a split before and after. A lot of people might scroll past this ad and really not understand immediately what it is. And so I wanted to make sure that we had at least one of the concepts conveying what those UGC videos were conveying, you know, showing the results, but with an image. So taking a look at the actual ad results, since the order just came in, it probably won't show up here on the campaign, but we did spend quite a bit. So funny enough, the one that got the sale only spent $20, but this one spent $88 and it didn't actually get any add to carts. So I'm glad I actually did make that change and make an image ad, you know, with an actual woman on it. But so far we spent a total of $109. So it's 7 p.m. now on Sunday. We're technically almost 24 hours into the challenge. But the thing is, the ads didn't actually run the entire day today. So we only got a few hours worth of ads running and it spent the budget too fast. But at least we got the one sale. Now it's really early. We do want to let it run the rest of the day. And by the time we wake up tomorrow, we should have more data to see from there. And because we have basically 48 hours left in the challenge, if I don't get more sales by tomorrow morning, I'm going to have to rush and create a new concept, either a new image ad concept, or I'm gonna have to go create a video ad concept, probably using AI as well. So I'm gonna check in with you guys tomorrow morning and we'll go from there. Guys, I think I'm actually gonna go crazy. The ad account got disabled overnight while I was sleeping, so the ads were off for about 7 hours. If we take a look here, literally, they just started spending again. It's 11:30 a.m. And as you can see, it's barely spent $1. So this is the reality that people don't really show. You know, you launch your business, you're at the mercy of these ad platforms, right? Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, whatever. And when things go wrong, you just have to figure it out. But that's, I guess, the key message here is you have to remain optimistic and just figure it out. So I'm gonna go figure it out. I'm gonna let these ads run
and then hopefully the spend starts to pick up, and then we resume this challenge. All right, I'm at the gym, just got another sale. Let's go, this one's for $40. So thing is, we don't really have that much time left in the challenge, so it's really making me worried about the final results. We have a couple sales so far. I gotta get this up if I wanna win this challenge. We're technically at $110 now. So one of you guys might actually win this. But what this proves so far is that you can find a product in literally hours and launch a business and start making sales in the matter of hours. It doesn't need to take you weeks or months. Honestly, I want to increase my chances here of winning the challenge, but we have around 30 hours left, I want to say, because the ads didn't run for a while, and then the ad account got disabled, so that we have to reinstate some of that time. But to increase the chances of actually having success here, because so far, I expected to have at least a few $100s in sales. I want to launch some video ads because maybe the images won't actually do a good job at conveying, that problem solution. Because I know this product works. It's just a matter of making content that actually emotionally connects with the consumer. Good morning. We only have 15 hours left of the challenge, but we got a couple more sales. Let's jump on the computer and take a look at the profit and loss and see where we're at. So as we can see here, it is 10:30 in the morning and we have $79 so far in sales. We spent a total of $79 today as well, but let's actually take a look at the true profit so we can see the profit and loss. So March 15th to 17th, and we are at a net loss of $136, which isn't bad. But even with a total of $416 in ad spend and only $359 in revenue, the reason why the net loss is actually so little is because our cost of goods are so low. We have really high gross profit margins on this product. And that's really what you want with dropshipping. You want your gross profit margins to be as high as possible so that when you do have losses, they're not as big. So total of 6 orders, 20 units sold, but unfortunately Facebook hasn't actually tracked everything. We had some pixel issues. For those of you that don't know, if you actually look at the conversion summary in the order, if you have UTM parameters on your ad, you can essentially see where it came from. So like this one, for example, came from those images. If you recall, I actually, updated that third concept to show a real woman's chest with the product in action to try and show the proof through an image. So it turns out it did work because a few of these are from these 103 concepts. Anyways, 15 hours left. Hopefully with that small net loss that we have, we can actually get into the green here. I just left the mall, kid you not. As soon as I sat in the car, we got a cha-ching, another sale. Looks like that one image ad is actually coming through in these final hours. So let's see. So the 72-hour challenge ended last night. Let's go in, look at the results and break everything down. So as we can see here, right, yesterday, March 17th, we had 119 sales, 3 orders. The total sales for the entire challenge was $399, 7 orders, which was over 20 units. Now, when it comes to the ads, as we can see here, we spent a total of $473 in this time period. If we actually look at the ads themselves, Facebook didn't actually track all of the orders. So we had a tracking issue, unfortunately. But when I looked at the conversion summary of the orders, it shows you with the UTM parameters where, most of the sales came from. Most of the sales actually came from this image right here. So I was right about the fact that with this product, you really do need to show that proof, and it's hard to do that in an image. So that's why we basically had to use some arrows with the pads on top of the shirt to show hey, this is what's going on here, to get that look with the chest as pads adding a lift. So now for the big reveal, did I actually make a profit in these 72 hours or did I lose money? Let's take a look. So if we head over into true profit here, this was our first day, March 15th, we lost $89.72. And just so we're clear from the get-go, I included all of these other fees that we had in the profit and loss. So the Shopify subscription fee for $1, design.com $15, Kalo data $64, and the domain $15. So our P&L on this page includes that. $89 in a loss on the first day, and then the second day we had a $40 loss, and then on the third and final hours we had a negative $63 loss. So that puts our total at a net loss of $194. So a deal's a deal. I lost money in this challenge, so that means I owe $1,000 to one of you. All you gotta do is like and comment below. I'm gonna choose one of my favorite comments and I'm gonna pin a comment below with the giveaway date, so that way you know exactly when the giveaway is happening. Now, sure, I may have lost a little bit of money here, but that's far from the point. There's no other business model where you can find a product, start running ads, and start getting results in as little as 72 hours. If I was running this business longer than 72 hours, especially for the long term, I would create more ads. I would learn from the failures of these ads. You know, I'd probably, for this product, create more video ads to really show the proof, like I was saying. Now, the last thing I want to add before I go is I know some of you guys watching this, you want to succeed with dropshipping this year. You want to change your life for the better, but you just need help. You need one-on-one help. That's why I created my mentorship program. We get on calls with you for several weeks. We help you find the product, build the store, build the ads, run the ads, make sure that you're actually succeeding, not making the same mistakes as everybody else. If this is something that interests you, you can book a free call with the first link in the description below. And click right here to watch a video on how I find winning products before they go viral. I'll see you guys in the next one.